And welcome back to What If the Third Hokage Adopted Naruto Part 4. Last time, the team had passed their mission, or passed the bell test, and we're going off to now help the bridge builder. We catch up now, basically, in the aftermath of that first meeting with Tazuna. Everyone's got their gear. I mean, there's nothing really to say in terms of, hey, wait, guys, this has got to happen. I got to have this conversation. No, it's basically really what you get is a lot of the same. Naruto. I think Naruto would still be a little bit like, all right. It's like, what are you happy about? Even Sasuke would probably be like, what are you happy about? It's like, oh, I don't get out of the village much. I would occasionally go out with the old man, but really I don't get out of the village much. So he'd do the, hey, Todd's not just, hey, are you sure this kid's got what it takes? Yeah, I don't really think he's a real ninja, all that. And I think Naruto's just like, yeah, it doesn't matter what you think. Trust me, we'll get the job done. And I think that would be a little surprising. Sasuke's just like, huh? It's like, really? And even Taza's like, whatever. So you get the conversation, that whole conversation about the Kages and, Ho, Rai, Mizu, Kaze, and Tsuchi. These are the names given to the 5 Kages. And that's the thing is that that Sakura would be the one who raised that question because Naruto knows how powerful the third is. It's the third Hokage. So you don't get any real changes there. But what does change a little bit is the scenario with the Demon Brothers. They walk past the puddle, and Kakashi notices it. And I think Naruto would also be at least aware that something's off there. Not 100% sure, but something's not right. He sees the puddle, doesn't think anything of it, but something in the back of his head's nagging at him. And then obviously Demon Brothers come out and they, take out Kakashi. It's like, Kakashi Sensei! And then the Demon Brothers appear directly behind him. But the difference here is that the third is probably trained with Naruto enough to help him and actually, give him good beatings every once in a while in terms of the training, that Naruto doesn't freeze up in the fight like he does here. Like when the Demon Brothers appear behind him, just like, but instead, because he knows what he was able to predict where they're going to go, just like he's got his hands ready, and it's like, you might not want to stand there. It's like, what? And then, get up, my poo! Just pull! Sasuke! And then Sasuke comes, rushes. Sakura takes her position. Naruto makes a couple clones. They go towards Sakura as well. They got their knives ready. Sasuke comes, throws a kunai, hits the chain, gets in the tree. Sasuke then just does the attack where kicks them both. They're again now. Wind's knocked out of them, and they just got kicked in the head. They disconnect the chain, immediately go straight for the bridge builder. Naruto and Sasuke, though, both get in front, and then Kakashi comes in. Boom. So you don't get the oath because Naruto, is like, on this oath, I vow to never back down. That's really cool, Naruto, but you don't get the poison out of your blood, you're going to die. If you lose any more blood, you're going to die. Really good idea to stop the bleeding now. Seriously. By the way, I call bullshit on that. There is no way Naruto was losing. I mean, maybe in the manga it looked different because I don't remember. I didn't really read the manga until to Shippuden era, to be frank. I watched Naruto as the anime. So maybe in the manga he did in fact lose a lot more blood. But let's be honest. You could lose all the blood. You could lose your arm and still be fine. So in terms of blood, don't get me wrong. You need serious medical attention, but you could lose your arm. No, Kakashi, he's fine. Seriously. I mean, yeah, his hand might hurt. He's probably losing blood. He's probably losing more blood than he should, but no, he's not going to lose. He's not going to die from that amount of blood loss. You got to be kidding me. Especially after we see half the shit that goes on in Shippuden, like them blowing their arms off, for example. The amount of blood we see Guy basically just go through. Seriously, what is it? You're going to die now. Seriously, I don't think you know jack shit. Anyway, so he interrogates them. Zabuza goes out. They're basically, again, things go pretty much beat by beat. The only difference is Naruto does sense Zabuza, and he throws a kunai. Sakura does no, he's not as mean about it because obviously she likes it, but she does say, it's like, Naruto, you need to be more careful. It's like, oh God, so Rabbit, I'm sorry, bunny. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I love the look on that rabbit's face, just it's like look out. And then obviously the executioner blade comes in. And for the most part, up until we get to Kakashi getting captured, that whole scenario goes the same. Zabuza comes, I get to see the Sharingan in action. This is an honor. In the right context, I can do a decent Zabuza voice. It's not the best. So, and obviously, it goes about Naruto tries maybe use a gale or a great breakthrough to move the wind or move the mist. It doesn't really work out. Zabuza then goes through the motion, captures Kakashi, creates the clone. But when I was your age, this hand had already slain many opponents. Zabuza, the demon. It felt so good. I always did love that. He's just reveling in that memory. It's almost like he orgasmed at that moment. Just like, it's so good. Oh, I need to smoke after this. But yeah, he kind of whoops their ass a little bit. But then, Naruto makes the clones. Shadow clones. And there's quite a few of them. Naruto comes in. Doesn't really do much. Zabuza's swiping the clones away. The difference is here, Naruto does have his chakra knives. I don't actually know what they weren't garrote knives. I think they were garrote knives, actually. Basically, they're knives. Basically, they're like brass knuckles, but with blades on them. That's what they are. And they're the same thing as Zabuza has. Difference is he clashes with them and he has to channel wind chakra and then just survive the damn blade. He's basically in an X blocking formation. And it's still a huge blade, and Zabuza's immensely strong and capable of wielding that extreme speed. So even though Naruto blocks, he pretty much creates a crater in the ground. It's like, chakra blades. And he's a wind user. I must admit, I was not expecting that. But still, you've got a long way to go before you can take me on, Brett. So, wind style! Wind style! It's like, and there's nothing you have that can stop me. He's about to just basically put his effort in, quickly just picks up the blade, and just using momentum and sheer strength to basically try to take down Naruto, only for Naruto to be like, wind blades! And he basically just puts a huge amount of chakra into the wind blade, the technique, which I said he had. He just hasn't had a chance to use it at this point, at least in real battle or real combat, and creates a giant slashing X of wind. And Zabuza's like, the clone gets taken out, and it still comes towards Zabuza, and Zabuza braces himself. Luckily, at that point, because it went through the clone, it still was like a lot of force, but it wasn't enough to cut him at that point. And Kakashi's even like, well, Naruto never knew Naruto had a technique like that in him. Normally, it wouldn't be used on that scale. It's normally used for like fine slicing blades of wind. But Naruto had to basically break the lock that Zabuza had him in. Unfortunately, even for Naruto, who has massive chakra reserves, doing something like that does take a little bit of a toll on him. He's still good to go, and Zabuza quickly makes another clone. Sasuke then throws the demon windmill shuriken. The clone dodges it. Gus, you bypass the clone and aim for my real body. Smart, but not smart enough. Another shuriken hiding in the shadow shuriken jutsu. It's like, I told you a shuriken would never touch me. Once again, it's Naruto. Only this time, Naruto's got one extra trick up his sleeves, as he basically has a handful of, he has like a fistful of kunai or shuriken. And basically just wind style. He's doing everything he can to focus, because even for Naruto being wind affinity and, being very skilled, sealless jutsus are still something that's like seriously difficult to do. So he's really just great breakthrough. Or you can also just make the argument he does one-handed and Gale Palm, which Gale Palm he can honestly, I think, do naturally with one hand without really having to use a hand sign. But just boom, and just blast it. And so I was like, and he actually gets a kunai or two in the arms. It's like, you little brat, I'll destroy you. And it's like, and Naruto's like, crap. Because he's stuck in midair. But Kakashi quickly blocks the blade, and Naruto lands on his feet and is able to get out of the water in time. Then that fight goes on the same, since Zabuza's actually an even worse advantage because his arm is messed up. Then Haku comes, saves the day, says thank you, and Kakashi passes the fuck out. So we move on now, because we're only at 10 minutes. I'm actually really going fast with the wave arc in this version, because nothing serious has changed in this version. Let's be clear, nothing serious has changed in terms of how these scenarios would play out. I did hear someone bring up a really good point about the whole Hinata-Sakura rivalry for Naruto's affection. That I'll admit, I'll use it later on in the series because it's actually a really good point. But we'll talk about that later. We get to the house. Tazuna apologizes for Inari being rude. They're gonna die, and obviously Kakashi talks about how Zabuza is still alive, as I can still train you. So with the training, we get Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto, doing the tree exercise. But we know he shows off the tree exercise, and Sasuke is like, what? Sasuke's impressed, Sakura's impressed. But remember, Sakura could do it from the get. But basically, Kakashi wanted her to keep doing that, so her chakra reserves would increase and her stamina increase. However, what surprises him is, and he should have realized it, being raised and trained by the third and Azuma and several other Sarutobis, is that Naruto also had it down. As Naruto basically says, as Kakashi's wanting them to get ready, he's like, Kakashi, I can already do this fine. Like, yeah, in fact, I can actually do the water walking too. It's like, is that right? And then he realizes, that's right. I saw you doing that. When I fight against Zabuza. Oh, actually, I have to admit, I completely forgot about that. All right, Naruto, seeing as you've already if you could just demonstrate real quick, and then Sasuke sees Naruto do it. It's like, damn it, he's already this far ahead of me. It's like, oh no, I'm not gonna fall behind that easy. And so Sasuke has to struggle learning it using Naruto, the fact that Naruto's already done it on his own. Now, here is a different... Naruto's not going to train anything. He says, all right then, very well, Naruto. While I'm recovering, you'll be guarding Tazuna on the bridge. It's like, all right, sure, sweet. It's like, so Naruto spends a lot of his time guarding Tazuna. And like Sakura, he sees the state of the village, and he's like, we got to help these guys. It's very much like Sakura did. However, another thing that is very different is, remember, Naruto has the Shadow Clone Jutsu. So when Naruto is, guarding the bridge and stuff like that, it's like, go a lot faster. Normally would be going faster, but a lot of them are disappearing. A lot of workers are being scared off. It's like, and then the guy comes out, Tazuna, I'm gonna bow out. It's like, come on, Tazuna, don't be like that. Don't bother coming back. And it's like, well, I mean, I can help if you want. What do you mean you can help? It's like, well, how many people do you think you need? I don't know, maybe a dozen or so. All right, and it's, there, 2 dozen. It's like 24. How can we help? He's like, wait, what? He's like, wait, that's right. You can make those clothes. He's like, Taz's like, it's like, oh my god. He's like, yeah, just give us the directions and we'll help out. It's like, Taz is just like, oh, this is awesome. Yes. So yeah, they're actually able to speed up the bridge building process very quickly. I mean, the bridge isn't going to be done before Zabuza shows back up, but still. So now we get basically to a unique scenario here. You have Inari and God Almighty, Inari. I have issues with the Inari character, not because he's a bad character or anything like that, especially when you see where he ends up, but because of the fact that it's like he really was just wrapped up in his own misery and his own shit. Like, he didn't care about other people's suffering. He just cared about the fact that he lost his dad. And you know what? That's terrible, absolutely. But yeah, I'm sorry. Especially when he tried to call Naruto out on it. It's like, oh yeah, it's like, look at him crying. Look at yourself whining and crying like some sorry victim. You're nothing but a coward. Like, Naruto had every right to call him out on that. So yeah, Nari's character always does bug me. Now Nari does, now Inari does have this the moment again where it's like, why do you keep why do you keep drawing this? God's got all these ways. Like, yeah, well, I mean, we'll never know unless we try. It's like, he's taken on a lot of people. He hasn't taken on us. It's like, why don't you shut up? Like, just look at me and sit. You don't know what it's like to be treated like dirt. Which, by the way, besides that one incident with those kids and taking the dog, which by the way was terrible. What is with our are Japanese kids just that little of shits that they find killing little innocent animals like just are they just that much sociopaths or psychopaths? Because that seems to be a trope I see a lot. Now maybe it's just the bad kids, absolutely, but I see that trope a lot, not just in like anime, but like in I think what was it, GMK, the one where it was Godzilla was the bad guy and Ghidorah was the good guy along with Mothra and Baragon. Mothra ends up killing these kids who are I think trying to drown a dog or something like. And they do it with cats and stuff like that. Like, and then you get I think an Elfin Lead too. You get those kids who beat the dog to death, like just thinking it's fun. It's like, what the is with that trope? Like, don't get me wrong, American, European, African. I'm sure there are kids in all the countries and all the cultures who are probably that bad, but like they really make it out to be like Japanese kids really seem to like doing that. Am I off basis? Please, someone enlighten me on that. But anyway. Yeah, besides that, though, I'm like, did like Gato's men just come in? I mean, but yeah, besides, did he get picked on a lot before then? Like, we don't know much about Inari before then. But I mean, like, yeah, you didn't. Besides that, you didn't get picked on as far as we could tell, treating like dirt like that. So really, you're really just lashing out for no reason other than you're hurt, like you're feeling the pain of loss. Understandable, but it really just makes him a little. It really doesn't make him that likable. At least until he kind of comes around ultimately and like stands up and tries to save his mom. Anyway, so he has the outburst, and Naruto doesn't. I don't think Naruto really snaps back at him the same way he does here. But Naruto does recall the looks a lot of the villagers give him. And, some of the minor mistreatment. Well, again, being an adopted son of the third, really didn't get the same mistreatment he got here. Or in the original. But he still would occasionally maybe, like when the third wasn't around, someone would probably just say no to him. Like, it's not like, like denying him, like, because he's being a spoiled brat. No, denying him, like, for no reason. Oh, excuse me, or denying him, for just closing the door right on him, or just flat out ignore, or just giving a stare, a hateful stare. And because Naruto now knew about the fox at this point, it's like I can't. And Naruto thinks like I can't say I know exactly what it means to treat by dirt, but I know what it's like to have people hate you for no reason. And you can either take it and cry about it, or you can suck it up and prove them wrong. Either way, so you can basically he does a variation of this, and he's not yelling at it, but he does stand his ground about the subject. It's like, so you can either stay whining, or you can get up, or you can get on your feet, dust off, look them in the eye, and do something about it. But guess what? Nothing's gonna get done if you just sit around crying all day. So and he goes off, and he's not as in a bad mood. He wants to be alone after hearing that, because it does raise the issue of the fox and the minor mistreatment he's had in this version. And obviously Kakashi sits down and has a talk with Nari. Again, not the same type of talk, because like he didn't have a single friend in our village. He's like, no, it was like, what Naruto said might have been a little harsh, but he's right. I think your father would have wanted your father. Yeah, he told us, your grandfather and mother told us about what happened to your father. And even though he died for what he believed in, and he wouldn't want you to, he wouldn't want you to carry on your life not trying to, carry on what you believe in. Well, Naruto said might have been harsh, but he's probably told himself that many times. I was like, it's like, wait, what about Naruto? Like, Naruto's dad didn't actually know his real parents. He was adopted by the Hokage, and he's been very lucky throughout a lot of his life. But a lot of our villagers still look down on him and hate him. It's like, why? It's like, that's something I can't tell you, but it's something that's out of his control. But he doesn't let it get to him. He just perseveres and continues on. Because like he said, you can either continue to cry and whine and let it just get to you, or you can keep walking forward and do something. So basically, something along those lines. Maybe simplified a bit, but that's basically it. So Naruto is probably venting, maybe just practicing out his Winjutsu a little bit. And unlike in the original where it's just he's completely passed out, it's more that he's just up against the tree, just kind of resting his eyes, sleeping, just light sleep, kind of like that sleep where if you ever had a nap. This is the kind of, it's a weird thing to be just going in depth or like this is the kind of sleep I'm talking about where you ever have a nap where you're kind of like resting and you're like you're near actually asleep, but you're also still aware of your surroundings. And I'm not talking about like light sleepers. I mean, it's a type of sleep that's specifically when times when I actually like lay down, like I say, like if I'm tired or like just been a long week or something like that, I decided to take a nap like around 2:30 for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, wake up 4. It's one of those where I'm like, I'm not truly asleep. And I think for me anyway, it's because I know I'm going to waste the day or I'm going to be up all night if I sleep for too long. So my mind doesn't let me fully fall asleep. And so I'm kind of aware of things going on. That's the kind of sleep Naruto's in. So when Haku gets there, and Naruto's like, he kind of twitches a little bit because he can sense Haku there. And he's just wondering, he's like, who is this? And he kind of just pokes his eye out a little bit. He's like, hello? He's like, hi. Sorry, I didn't want to wake you, but you're gonna catch a cold. You're gonna catch cold if you stay about here. Oh, thanks. Sorry about that. No, it's fine. My jacket's pretty warm. Remember, if I'm not mistaken, I said Naruto's jacket's kind of a combination, a longer version of his original jacket. Kind of like if his jacket was like maybe a darker color slightly. I've always liked the burnt orange idea. And longer. So he helps pick weeds and stuff like that. Kaku basically tells him there's someone special to him that he needs medicine. Do you have someone precious to you? And, he thinks about it. He thinks about the old man, thinks about Sakura, Hinata, the few friends, the amount of friends he has and people that cares all of them. Say, yeah, I got plenty of people like that. That's why I'm going to become Hokage to protect those people. It's like, you'll become strong, very strong. All right, well, see you around. Oh, by the way, I'm a boy. Ah! You get that. Sasuke comes and, gets him for breakfast. It's like, you missed breakfast. And it's like, oh man, that sucks. And so basically we now more or less get to where Haku and Zabuza are going to show up at the bridge. Now, the difference here is that Naruto, because he was trained by the third, is smart to leave a couple clones behind. So when the samurai come to get Inari and Tsunami, they don't succeed. The clones take them out. So that's taken care of. But now the big difference here is that Naruto because Naruto was the one guarding on a regular basis Tazuna. So it's Sakura and Sasuke joining Naruto on the bridge, and that's where they show up with end up meeting Haku and Zabuza. And so, boom, the battle on the bridge begins. And that is where we're going to leave part 4. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. Do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win, Star Wars, Superior Magic, what if anything you're doing the channel. Put that in the comments below as well. I'll get to that at some point. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hit that bell if you want to be notified, and I'll see you next time.